This is Chris with Eagles. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris with Eagles, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. It'll all be down there in the description box. And I'm here to do my WWE Monday Night Raw, December 19th, 2022 reviews. So here we go, discussing about Monday Night Raw. So we kick off the show with Paul Heyman. He introduces everybody to Monday Night Raw and, saying that the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, got something to say. And Roman Reigns starts talking. They're like in the, I think this is like probably recorded from SmackDown, pretty much like that locker room that they was in, but it's footage from that, I guess. So yeah, Roman was talking about how Kevin Owens got John Cena as his tag team partner, and he's tired of dealing with Kevin Owens, so he got his boys over there on Monday Night Raw tearing apart the locker room. So yeah, that's what Roman Reigns said. And then after that, we see the Usos holding up a camera and stuff, and we see in the background Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa beating down Mustafa Ali, beating down some security guards as well, and we see Solo Sikoa hitting the Samoan spike onto Mustafa Ali, laying him out. So yeah, that's what happened there. But then we get to the first match of the night. It was Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, the Street Profits, with Akira Tozawa at ringside versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest, with Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley, the Judgment Day in the tag team match. So yeah, Street Profits versus the Judgment Day. Dominic Mysterio comes out wearing like sunglasses and stuff. So yeah, Dominic is selling about what happened last week on Raw, going blind and stuff. So yeah, that's what he's doing. But yep, we get into the match, and during this match, we see a couple near falls and stuff. But at the ending, we see Damian Priest coming in there, hitting that sit-out chokeslam onto Angelo Dawkins, taking him out. But while he was sitting down because he hit that move, we see Montez Ford jump off the top turnbuckle with the frog splash onto him, taking him out as well. So it was Montez Ford and Finn Balor going back and forth at the end, and then Balor hits a drop kick onto him in the corner. He was about to climb up the top turnbuckle, hit the coup de grace onto Montez Ford, but then he spots Akira Tozawa going up. So yeah, Akira Tozawa goes up to Rhea Ripley, and he got that drink in his hands, and then he tosses it at her, but she ducks, and it went into Dominic's face. And the only reason for that is because they was trying to interfere during this match a while ago. And then, since Finn Balor is distracted by that, he gets rolled up by Montez Ford, getting pinned for the 3 count. So yeah, the Street Profits defeated the Judgment Day tonight in a tag team match. That's what happened for that match. I'll give it 3 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good match. But yep, that's what happened there. And then after the match ended, we see the Street Profits and Akira Tozawa walking up the ramp, celebrating and stuff. Rhea Ripley gets pissed off. She gets out the ring, walks up to Akira Tozawa, punches him right in the face, and then says, "Me and you right now, let's go." And Akira Tozawa's looking at the Street Profits, and they're like, "Yeah, go handle her." So yeah, it looks like up next we'll be seeing Rhea Ripley versus Akira Tozawa one-on-one up next on Raw. And later on tonight, we got Bayley versus Becky Lynch one-on-one. For the first time in 4 years. Not only that, we got Dexter Lumis versus The Miz in a winner-takes-all ladder match later on tonight as well. So yeah, many more stuff to come. And by the way, during this match, I forgot to mention that the Usos, the rest of the Bloodline, was beating down some more superstars like Andre Chase, I think it was, that was back there, and Solo hit him in the back with the guitar and stuff. So yeah, there's still going mayhem backstage. But yep, that's what happened there. And up next, we're going to be seeing Rhea Ripley versus Akira Tozawa one-on-one. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a one-on-one match. It was Akira Tozawa with Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, the Street Profits, versus Rhea Ripley with Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio, the Judgment Day. So yeah, one-on-one match with Rhea Ripley and Akira Tozawa. You heard that, and yeah, it's been a long time since we got like a man and woman, man versus woman one-on-one match in WWE. It's been a long time, and yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it now. Akira Tozawa obviously didn't want to go into this match, and the Street Profits forced him into it pretty much. And he was like ducking and dodging majority of the time from Rhea Ripley, not hitting her or nothing, rolling her up for pins and stuff, but Rhea kicking out and stuff like that. At one point, he hit Hurricane Rana onto Rhea Ripley, taking her out the ring, and we've seen Finn Balor and Damian Priest talking junk on the other side, and at one point we see the Street Profits jump over the top rope, taking them out, and then at the ending, it looked like Rhea Ripley was going to hit the Riptide, but Akira Tozawa goes over her, and then Rhea Ripley runs to him, but he moves out the way and she hits her shoulder on the ring post. He climbs up the top turnbuckle, jumps off with the flying senton, but she moved out the way. Akira Tozawa crashed and burned at that point, and then Rhea Ripley comes up, hitting the Riptide onto him, pinning him for the 3 count. So yeah, Rhea Ripley defeated Akira Tozawa tonight in a one-on-one match. That's what happened. For that match, I'll give it 1.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. But yep, that's what happened there. So, yep, Rhea Ripley won the match. And then after that, we see Kathy Kelly coming up to interview Adam Pearce because about Bobby Lashley last week. And he was on the phone with Paul Heyman. Well, he was trying to get in contact with Paul Heyman, but he won't answer the phone. And then she was talking about Bobby Lashley and stuff about him getting fired. And he starts talking about it. But then MVP comes up, wants to talk to Adam Pearce about Bobby Lashley. And then a referee comes up to Adam Pearce, come on, something happened. And Adam Pearce runs off with the referee. So yeah, something apparently happened, but we'll find out later on. But up next, it'll be the OC versus Alpha Academy in a tag team match up next on Raw. So yeah, see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a tag team match. It was Alpha Academy versus the OC. But before I talk about that match, there was a few things we got to talk about. So backstage, when the referee called for Adam Pearce, they went and checked on what happened, and apparently Dolph Ziggler, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin was the ones that got attacked by the Bloodline. And yeah, Kathy Kelly asked Dolph Ziggler what happened. He said the Bloodline happened. So yeah, that's what he said. But then we get to the next match. It was Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson with AJ Styles and Mia Yim, the OC, versus Chad Gable and Otis, Alpha Academy in a tag team match. Yeah, we'll get into this match. It was pretty good. We get to the ending where we see Otis lift up Luke Gallows for the World's Strongest Slam, and then Chad Gable jumps off the second turnbuckle, jumping onto Otis's back, crushing Luke Gallows, and he gets pinned, but he kicked out. Well, the pin got broken up at 2 by Carl Anderson, and Anderson and Otis was going at it. Otis ran into the ring post at one point, and then that's when Chad Gable knees Carl Anderson in the back, which sent Anderson out the ring. And then he grabs Luke Gallows. Luke Gallows hits like a kick to the face onto him, tags in Carl Anderson. They hit the Magic Killer onto Chad Gable, and then pins him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, the OC defeated Alpha Academy tonight in a tag team match. That's what happened. And then after the match was ended, the OC celebrating and stuff in the ring up until the Usos and Sami Zayn come up attacking them from behind, beating them down and stuff. They threw Styles out the ring, and then they hit the 1D onto Carl Anderson. Sami Zayn then picks up Luke Gallows, pushes him into the Usos, and they hit the 1D onto him as well. So, yep, that's what happened there. And then we see Adam Pearce and a bunch of security guards coming out to the ring, and then they go on commercial. So, yeah, we're going to see what happens up next. But, yeah, many more stuff to come later on time on Raw. That's what happened there. Though, for that match, I'll give it 2.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was an okay match. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Raw. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, now we see the Bloodline in the ring, the Usos and Sami Zayn. We see Adam Pearce and a bunch of security guards, and then the Bloodline was talking about how they run Monday Night Raw, how they're going to beat down everybody. Adam Pearce was telling them to get out the ring, and Sami Zayn was like, okay, yeah, we're done. But that's what we gotta say. We're sending a message to the Raw locker room and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what the Bloodline said. And then we see the Usos and Sami Zayn get out the ring, and they tell everybody not to touch them, and they'll walk away because they're through with Raw for tonight. And then they all start walking away up until AJ Styles jumps on Sami Zayn attacking him, and yeah, they was going at it, and a bunch of security guards had to break him up. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then after that, we see AJ Styles talking to Adam Pearce backstage, and Styles wants a match against Sami Zayn tonight, and Adam Pearce says, okay, the match will happen tonight. So yeah, AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn 1-on-1 later on tonight on Raw. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then after that, we get to the next segment where we see the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss. They're having a sit-down interview with Byron Saxton. Byron Saxton's talking about, asking questions and stuff, and Alexa Bliss was talking about how she had to go through therapy and stuff like that because of what happened with Bray Wyatt and stuff with the abandonment and stuff like that, getting abandoned, and that's why she acted like that to Bianca last week. And Bianca was talking about Bray, and then Alexa was like, "This ain't about Bray. This is about me and you, and I'm going to tell you that I'm going to win back the Raw Women's Championship. Because I haven't held a title in a long time. And she was out here winning titles before Bianca came through the doors. So yeah, that's what Alexa Bliss said. And then it was like, okay, we'll do that. And then Bianca turns around, about to walk away. And then Alexa Bliss grabs this vase with the plants in it and then smashes it over Bianca's head, laying her out. So yeah, in 2 weeks we'll see Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair on Raw for the Raw Women's Championship. So yeah, that'll be in 2 weeks. But yep, up next it will be The Miz versus Dexter Lumis in a winner-take-all ladder match up next on Raw. So yeah, that match will be happening up next. And later on tonight we'll see Becky Lynch versus Bayley one-on-one tonight on Raw as well. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Raw. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a one-on-one match. It was The Miz versus Dexter Lumis with Johnny Gargano at ringside in a winner-take-all ladder match. So yeah, we get the ladder match underway. They got like 2 money bags up, high up and stuff that they got to retrieve. But yeah, both of them's going at it and stuff, using the ladder and all that stuff. But we get to the ending at one point where we see, Miz actually attacking Johnny Gargano, beating him down and stuff, throwing him over the barricade and stuff, taking him out for the rest of the match. And then at one point, Dexter Lumis had enough, clears out the announce table, and then he puts Miz onto the announce table after he down rock bottom him onto another ladder and stuff. He puts him on that table, climbs up a ladder, jumps off with a leg drop, but Miz moves out the way, and Dexter Lumis went through the announce table. And then Miz was climbing up the top of the ladder, and then Dexter Lumis comes in, pushing Miz off the top of the ladder, taking him out. And then it looks like Dexter Lumis is going to win the match up until Bronson Reed makes his return. He comes up attacking Dexter Lumis, beating him down, stuff, laying him out, and then he climbs up the top turnbuckle, jumping off with a big splash off the turnbuckle, the tsunami onto Dexter Lumis, taking him out. He grabs Miz, makes Miz climb up the ladder, and Miz retrieves the money. So yeah, The Miz defeated Dexter Lumis tonight in the ladder match. That's what happened. And yeah, Bronson Reed makes his return back to Raw. Well, this is his debut pretty much, but return back to WWE. So yeah, that's what happened there. It looks like this feud ain't going to be over yet. It looks like Miz will be teaming up with Bronson Reed to take on Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano. That's what it looks like is going to be happening. So yeah, that's what happened there. For that ladder match, I'll give it 3.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. But then that's what happened there. And up next, we're going to be seeing AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn one-on-one up next on Raw. And not only that, we'll see Becky Lynch versus Bayley one-on-one later on tonight. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a one-on-one match. It was AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn one-on-one. And we get the match going on, but we get to the ending of this match where we see Sami Zayn hitting the exploder suplex onto AJ Styles in the corner. So then Sami Zayn was setting up for the hula kick onto AJ Styles in the corner up until Styles grabbed his leg when he lifted up his leg for the hula kick. Styles grabs it, locks on the calf crusher, trying to make it Sami Zayn tap out, but Sami Zayn crawled to the ropes, grabbing the ropes. And then Styles had no choice but to break up the calf crusher because Sami Zayn got rope break. Well, after that happened, Styles got distracted because we see Solo Sikoa walking through the crowd, coming down the stairs and stuff. Styles, was over there staring at him, and then Sami rolls him up, but Styles kicked out at 2. Both of them going at it and stuff. Styles laying him out. He jumps over the top rope, and then you see Solo Sikoa jumping over the barricade. And as soon as Solo jumped over the barricade, Styles jumps onto him, attacking him, beating him down and stuff. Sami Zayn comes up trying to help out Solo, but Sami got thrown into the announce table and stuff and got thrown back into the ring. Styles was trying to get back into the ring up until Solo comes up, hitting the Samoan Spike onto Styles, laying him out. The referee didn't see it because he was checking on Sami. Solo pushes Styles back into the ring, and then Sami lifts up Styles, hitting the Blue Thunder Bomb onto him, pinning him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Sami Zayn defeated AJ Styles tonight on Raw. That's what happened. And then after the match ended, we see Adam Pearce come down and go like, what the hell? He tells Sami Zayn and Solo to go backstage. So yeah, that's what happened there for that match. I'll give it 3 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good match. So yeah. But yep, actually before that, I forgot to mention that Seth Rollins actually gets a brand new t-shirt. He threw it on the guy's head at one point, which I forgot to mention that. But speaking about Rollins, he'll be on Raw up next. So yeah, Seth Rollins is on Raw up next, and later on tonight we still got Becky Lynch versus Bayley 1-on-1 as well. So yeah, that match is still to come later on tonight, probably the main event. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then, oh yeah, and they forgot to mention that in 2 weeks we'll see Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins for the United States Championship. So yeah, that'll be happening in 2 weeks. But yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Raw. So the next thing to happen on Monday Night Raw, now Seth Rollins comes out and he was talking about the Bloodline, talking about how the Bloodline knew better not to attack him and all that stuff, and he said that they wanted something to come out there and get something because, you know, he still never forgot about the stuff with Roman Reigns and all that stuff. So yeah, he said they ain't going to invade his show because it's his show, he controls Raw, it's Monday Night Rollins. That's what Seth Rollins was saying. But then he gets interrupted by the United States Champion, Austin Theory. Austin Theory comes out, and Theory was talking about how he's going to beat Seth Rollins in 2 weeks and retain the United States Championship. And he says that Seth Rollins said it himself, that the United States Championship makes you the man of the show, and he's the man of the show and not Seth Rollins. And him and Rollins starts arguing and stuff, and it was about to brawl. But then all of a sudden Seth Rollins spots Jimmy and J the Usos. They come walking through the crowd at the barricade. Seth Rollins is like, oh wait, before we start fighting, let's handle them first. And then Rollins and Theory's looking at the Usos. The Usos jumps over the barricade, gets on the apron, about to get into the ring, and Rollins and Theory's waiting for the Usos to get into the ring up until Theory decides to get out the ring, leaving Seth Rollins all by himself. And Seth Rollins like, ah, crap. And then the Usos gets in the ring, attacking Rollins, beating him down and stuff, up until we see Kevin Owens makes his way down to the ring. Jey Uso gets out the ring and he starts brawling with Owens outside the ring. Owens throws him into the barricade. Owens gets into the ring, fighting Jey Uso, and then Seth Rollins starts going after Jey, knocking him out of the ring as well. And then at one point, Jimmy Uso pops up on the apron until both of them knocks him off the apron. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then we see Adam Pearce and a bunch of security guards come up, and Seth Rollins grabs the mic and he goes like, long time no see, Owens. And then he says, well, I'm ready for a fight. And then Kevin Owens was like, I'm ready for a fight too. How about this? Tonight, me and Rollins versus y'all two in a tag team match. And then Adam Pearce said, okay, the match is going to be happening. So yeah, later on tonight in the main event, it will be the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and J the Usos versus Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens in a tag team match, non-title tag team match, later on tonight on Raw. So yeah, that match has now been made official. And then after that, we see Becky Lynch backstage. She starts talking about her and Bayley's match tonight and all that stuff, and how Bayley should come out there all alone and stuff instead of it being 3-on-1. It should be 1-on-1 because everything that she did in her past, she did it all by herself, and Bayley should do the same thing. So yeah, that's what Becky Lynch was saying. But then Bayley comes walking out to the ring, and that match will be happening up next. So yeah, Becky Lynch versus Bayley 1-on-1 up next on Raw. And then later on tonight, that tag team match with the Usos versus versus Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens in the tag team match in the main event. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a 1-on-1 match. It was Becky Lynch versus Bayley with the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Dakota Kai and Io Sky, Damage Control at ringside. So yeah, Becky Lynch versus Bayley for the first ever time 1-on-1 in 4 years. So yeah, we get to the match. It was a pretty good match. It was going back and forth and everything. At one point, we see Bayley hit the Bayley belly onto Becky, pins her, but Becky barely kicking out too. There was a few things that Becky Lynch was bringing into this match at one point. She hit the version of the angle slam onto Bayley. And then at one point, she actually hit Stardust's old finish move, Diamond Dust, that flipping stunner in the corner. That's where she hit on Bayley, but Bayley barely kicking out too. But then Becky lifts up Bayley, about to hit the manhandle slam onto her, up until we see Damage Control grabbing Bayley's leg so she wouldn't get hit by it. They dragged her out the ring. Becky rose to the ropes, hits a baseball slide onto him, and then at one point she grabs a TV monitor, ready to hit either Dakota Kai or Io Sky, whichever one was going to come up to her. They decide not to, but then the referee kicks Damage Control out for ringside. Becky gets back into the ring. Dakota gets on the apron at one point, and then Becky grabs her, bringing her into the ring, beating her down and stuff. Referee's telling Dakota to get out the ring, and while the referee was distracted by that, we see Bayley come up hitting Becky Lynch in the back of the head with the TV monitor, picks her up, and then hits the rose plant onto her, pinning her for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Bayley defeated Becky Lynch tonight on Raw. That's what happened for that match. I'll give it 3 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good match. But yep, still to come later on tonight in the main event, it'll be the Usos versus Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens in a tag team match later on tonight on Raw. So yeah, that match will be the main event. But yep, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. See you guys later until then. So the next thing to happen on Monday Night Raw. Now, before I talk about the main event, there was a segment before that where we see Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins talking. Seth Rollins was walking around getting ready for the match, and then Kevin Owens comes up approaching him, and then they was talking about their past and all that stuff, about how they was a tag team, and about the KO show and Stone Cold and WrestleMania and all that stuff. And yeah, that's what he was talking about. But yeah, it's great to see him become a tag team once again. And they put the differences aside and tag for this night. So yeah. And then we get to the main event. It was the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and J the Usos, versus Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens in a non-title tag team match in the main event for Raw. And it was a pretty good match. It was going back and forth and everything. At one point, we see Owens jump off the top turnbuckle with a swanton, but Jimmy puts his knees up and Kevin Owens lands on his knees. And then, after that happened, we see Solo Sikoa approaching, about to attack Seth Rollins. But then, after he jumps over the barricade, we see Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the OC, coming down, attacking Solo, beating him down and stuff. And then that's when we see Jey Uso hitting a splash over the top rope onto him. And then we see Seth Rollins hitting a suicide dive onto him, taking him out. Solo runs to Seth Rollins trying to take him out, but Seth moves out the way, and Solo runs his face first into the ring post, taking himself out. And then that's when Seth Rollins hits the curb stomp onto Jey Uso outside the ring. Rollins is over there by the barricade, all tired and stuff, and then he gets hit in the back of the head with the United States Championship by Austin Theory, getting laid out. And Kevin Owens and Jimmy Uso was on the top turnbuckle. Owens was fighting him off, knocks him off the top turnbuckle. Owens gets down, and then he gets hit with a super kick by Jimmy. Jimmy pins him, 1, 2, and Kevin kicks out at 2. Both of them's going back at it, back and forth. Kevin Owens trying to pop up powerbomb onto Jimmy at one point, but Jimmy goes over him, landing on his feet. And then Jimmy tries to clotheslines him, but Kevin ducks. Jimmy runs to the ropes, comes back and gets hit with the pop-up powerbomb the second time, and then gets pinned for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens defeated the Usos tonight in a tag team match in the main event for tonight's Raw. But then, after the match ended, we see Sami Zayn look like he comes into the ring, trying to attack Kevin Owens from behind, but Kevin Owens quickly turns around, and they're both standing face to face, and then Sami Zayn decides to get out of the ring. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff. For the main event, I'll give it 3.5 stars. That's why I'll give it pretty good main event. I'll say that was probably match of the night. The ladder match was okay. There was some okay matches like Styles versus Sami Zayn and stuff like that. But yeah, that was Raw for tonight. But yeah, for tonight's Monday Night Raw episode, I'll have to give it 7 stars. That's why I'll give it. It was a pretty good episode, but to me, it felt like it dragged on for a little bit. I don't know why. Probably it's just Raw. It's 3 hours. So that could be the case, or, just stuff like that. But yeah, that has been my Monday Night Raw episode reviews. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, World of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Videos, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both my TikToks. And I'll be down there in the description box, and I'll see you guys later for this Wednesday's AEW Dynamite reviews, and this Friday's Friday Night SmackDown reviews. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then.